J.J. McCarthy will visit the New England Patriots. How do you feel about J.J. McCarthy being on the list?
I say bring him on.
You love him. You love his footwork is what you love.
I like his footwork. I'm kind of perplexed. Like they're not bringing Penix in for an interview or anything or showing the least of interest. I like his footwork. I'm not telling you to draft him, but I thought he had a hell of a workout that day. He looked like he was into it. I understand why scouts look at him and like him. I did not like his games at Michigan. I made that very clear. They were boring to watch, but he played old school football. 2 tight ends. Power I, we're going to run it, we're going to play action and boot it, and we're going to bleed you to death. And that's the way a lot of coaches like to play it. It's the way Harbaugh plays it. It's the way he did it at Stanford. That's what he did at San Francisco until he found Kaepernick. It kind of took it to another level. But this kid looked the best in all of his workouts, foot-wise. Feet, ball placement, all of it. Accurate.
Oh, he is very accurate. He completed over 70% of his passes last year. He is accurate. And he did have a good pro day, and I think you should put stock in pro days.
I think him operating under center helps him because you have to go under center. You just can't play everything from shotgun.
Right, there's no adjustment for him in the NFL for that.
Correct.
Where plenty of guys now coming out have to adjust to that because they just haven't done it a lot.
Yeah, because it's like the flip reversal here. Like, I was always used to being under center because, I played in the 80s. And then you played pro ball in the 90s, and we started to go gun a little bit when it was only on third down, just to back you away. And you had to get used to that. When you're a guy that's under center, you got to get used to the gun, but that's easier to get used to than continually just playing RPO stuff out of the gun. Then I put you under center. Like, what do I do now? Like some of these guys, that's why I watched Herbert try to drop back from under center in his combine. He didn't look great, but his arm strength's there.
Why is J.J. McCarthy not Mac Jones 2.0?
I think he's tougher. They used to run end around, pull the backside tackle and called quarterback keepers over right tackle. I just think he's got a little grit. He's got more grit than Mac. And I think Mac played with better personnel on the outside. Alabama was freaking loaded. How many times have we gone through that list of guys? The tight ends, the backs.
Good point. For all the times
JJ doesn't have number one receivers to throw to. He's got scrappy. He's got some scrappy little receivers on the outside that competed.
For all the times that we say a guy played with elite talent, we should downgrade him for that. Mac Jones or the guys who are in this draft or at the top of this draft. That can't be said about J.J. McCarthy. He did not have elite receivers that he was throwing to.
I think that's why some people are a little hesitant on Jaden Daniels now. The more you put him under the microscope, you got Neighbors. You got Neighbors and Thompson down there. Like those guys can play. Those are 2 first-round picks. Neighbors probably a top 5, top 10 pick. And they can fly. JJ doesn't have anybody who can fly at Michigan. They would catch the ball and get down and convert first downs, yeah. But there wasn't breakaway stuff. That team just wore your ass down because they were huge up front.
But then why didn't JJ impress when I watched the games at Michigan? And I know it's a different style, right? It was a little bit more run the football, the Harbaugh style. But never once in watching those games did I say, yeah, I think J.J. McCarthy is a first-round pick.
It's a boring offense. It's not sexy. None of the games were sexy.
He threw 22 touchdowns. The passing game was not exciting there.
So that's the perplexing thing here for scouts. Can this kid have a higher ceiling? Because he's won everywhere he's been. He's won in high school. He's won at the collegiate level. He was a good leader. I'm just watching some of the stuff here. This is just easy concept stuff that we're running some highlights here inside watching, as you see there on a simulcast. It's a little misdirection flip. Guys are wide open in the flat, puts the ball out there. Ball's not behind the running backs. He's accurate. I think pro guys like the accuracy of this kid because you just don't lay it. Like you watch the Drake May throws in pro day, they were all been knocked down. Because once he airmailed a couple early in that workout, he made sure a little bit, the other ones were a little underthrown to make sure they were completed. That ball's contested every play in the pros. The windows and the tightness of where you have to throw it will benefit McCarthy.
I just worry he's a workout warrior because I didn't see it when I watched the games. And yes, he had a great pro day and all that.
I'm not telling you to draft him. I'm like, but I can see why teams like him. I like him better than Bo Nix. I know Nix is a high completion.
Yeah, that's a low bar.
Well, right.
I'm not
He's climbing up, too. But, I like the fact Penix is climbing up boards, too. Like, more people are getting enamored with him and watching him, and he kicked ass in his workout, another workout guy. Mm-hmm. But his stats are there during the year. You watch him play, you watch him compete. He's the best pure thrower in the draft. He's the best passer.
I would say, if you remember Andrew Luck's career at Stanford.
Similar.
Well, it was because
it was not sexy. I hated watching him in college.
His first 2 years as a starter, he was under Harbaugh there. And then his senior year, when I think everybody started to sort of pay attention to him, David Shaw was the head coach then. And it just, I don't know, he had a better year his senior year that year.
But he was boring to watch in college. But you look at the way the Colts advanced things with him, and it was gun, and it was cross placements, and it was deep drags, and he could throw the deep ball, and he'd throw deep posts all day. And they got progressively better year to year to year to year. You know, wild card win, divisional win, get to an AFC title game. Never got to the Super Bowl, and then he fell apart because they couldn't protect him. But there was a good trend there. The way that thing was trending for him was upwards.
And the difference being, Shaw had been there for the entire time with Luck. He was the OC, and then he got elevated to head coach. But I always felt like his senior year there was his best year because Shaw was in charge, and he just had a better year. He had a better year that year. I mean, he was great. It's too bad what happened to him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Harbaugh is always conservative, man. Just doesn't never look
and if
sexy.
If I was Herbert, I'd be worried about the offense.
I'd be a little concerned about that
because you got rid of both my big receivers. You're going to get a guy in the draft probably, but
it just doesn't play to his strengths.
Jim's going to stare at the clock and he's going to milk it, and they're going to be like, "We're running it here. Shut up."
Yeah, it's boring. That's what it is. It's boring, but it's worked. Harbaugh's a good coach. It works.
I guess. Yeah.
Runs a good program. He'll clean things up there in San Diego. They'll be a better team.
They'll know when to call timeout and when not to.
They will know how to do that.
They won't go for it every time on fourth down because that's what we do. You know? Yeah.
See, that's what
probably win a bunch of games 17-14, you know? That's what they'll do.
That's what worries me about JJ because he came from that system. Are you just a system guy?
I hope not.
All these guys could be.
Because I think they like him. I think they like the 3 quarterbacks that they've had visits with. I think they're taking a quarterback at 3. And I think it will be one of these 3 guys that are here for visits.
And if you're not taking a quarterback at 3, this is what you do to give the impression that you're taking a quarterback at 3 because now the value's going to go up it's going to go through the roof. What are they going to get for that pick if they sell it, you know? Tell them they're doing everything. Taking a quarterback, we're open for business. Yeah,
I don't even know why they would need to sell that point. They have the 3rd pick in what is a 4 or 5 quarterback draft now, and they desperately need a quarterback. So they don't even need to sell it to anybody. This is just they're doing their work.
Yeah.
This is what this is plain and obvious to me that they would have these guys in. You don't have to convince anyone you're taking a quarterback at 3. They should be taking a quarterback at 3. The rest of the league should assume they're going to sit there and take a quarterback at 3. Visits or no visits. That's what they should be thinking. 617-779-0985, which is why I don't read too much into does it mean they're absolutely taking a quarterback because they're having quarterback visits? No, but they probably should. It doesn't guarantee anything, but they probably should do it.
Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.